just start recording since we always be having the goods before we even start going on. I was like, I'm not gonna miss it this time.
Yeah, our casual speak is like,
it's flawless, bro. I love the hat, man. I love the merch, man. I love the merch.
Oh yeah, bro, to check out. Well, no, just prepared coming into this, and yeah, branding and stuff.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's just cool. You don't have your glasses on. I was like, something's different. I was like, something.
I just took them off because the glare.
Oh, okay. When I take my shit off, man, I feel like I look like Arthur. That like I just need to put my fist in a little mole rat. So what did you think of the Batman? Before we even like break it down, what in your top? There's been 8 Batman movies. Top 3, top 2, top 5.
I mean, I have a habit of like when new shit drops, like something fresh. If I really enjoy it, I'm like, that's my favorite thing ever. You know what I mean? That was totally my reaction to the Batman. So yeah, right now on my list, honestly, like my personal opinion, this has been the best overall Batman movie made because of the ensemble element, because of how good the plot was. I really like that we didn't have to.
The Wayne get killed a million times, like every single.
Exactly, thing. They're just like, we know who you guys know who the fuck Batman is, or you wouldn't be watching this, man. You know, like. I like that the Joker didn't require an origin story or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so, and to be, I wouldn't say he's my favorite Batman, maybe. But there was a lot about it. I mean, there was a lot about his performance that I really, really enjoyed.
He made some really good choices, especially with him being a younger Batman, only 2 years into it. I don't know how long Michael Keaton was supposed to be Batman, but he looked like a 40-year-old man, so I'm assuming he had been Batman for a while. So,
and he will be Batman again.
And he will be Batman again. So, 70-year-old Batman. I love it. I would have loved if they were doing Batman Begins with him. Instead. I mean, not Batman Begins. Help me out here. The future Batman. Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond. Yes.
Beyond. Batman Beyond. Yeah, that would have been the shit. So let's start because we're already getting good stuff. All right. Let's get this cracking. Get cracking. All right. Just smoked the joint, so I gotta
wait 1 second. Yeah, let me get a sip.
I got my caffeine to sober me up.
I got one of my cold sips to loosen me up.
Nice. Yeah, I've been 420 in it. Hard, bro. Hard, man. I've been listening to Faded on repeat, getting Faded on repeat. So, and I'm off tomorrow too. So I'm doing a bunch of finished edits tomorrow. That's all I'm doing. So,
funny story about Faded for you, bro. That mix that Rob did. You have listened to the song, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a second verse that he just cut out and made that chant line, fuck you if you get high at the party. You replaced my whole second verse with that. I was so pissed off, bro.
I was about to say, I know you were like burning when you write.
Pissed off, dude.
It's perfect, man. It vibes so well, especially like when you're smoking. Like I put the visuals on DITD radio, gave it a feature there.
Thanks, man.
Always, man. Always, bro. For my boy John, he's out in Washington, and trying to kind of like Wu-Tang this bitch. I want to Wu-Tang it where we're having elements and where I know people are talented, collaborate. Like
yeah, bro.
Yeah, you're so dope in rap and comic books. So I like collaborating with you. He's like the weed expert. So I like collaborating with him. I have some friends that do wrestling podcasts, just all my interests. If there's someone that I think is dope in it, I like partnering. So he's doing
the networking, yeah.
It's the networking. So he's doing this podcast, Pot with Petty.
Yeah, I've seen that popping up. Yeah.
And so I'm executive producing it, and I was just giving him some tips and stuff because he's new to pot. He's done some My Down and Den After Dark. He's done some shit on that. But I was like, bro, man, you like weed a lot. You live in Washington where they have some of the best weed in the freaking world and it's completely legal. Why don't you do a pot podcast where you're just smoking, naming strains, get a rating system, partner with these rec centers and stuff. So I hooked it all up and gave them a structure and taught them out, and I do the edits for them and everything. And then I just put it under the Mars Media banner. But I guess they have some shit called HHC.
HHC?
Yeah, so it's like, have you heard of Delta 8 and Delta 9?
We got, Delta 8. I got Delta 8 shit
so
here.
They actually have Delta 10. So they have Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10. And what happened when they passed the Farm Act in 2018, they said any product from hemp that has less than 0.3% THC is legal. What they didn't know is that they could take other strands from the hemp and create other cannabinoids or whatever to get you super fucked up. So they made Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10. Now they have this new shit called HHC, which is like hydrogen, cannabis, whatever it stands for. But it's completely legal and it's supposed to get you just as fucked up as regular THC. So I'm going to have him try some of that shit because I was like, you're going to be the guinea pig. I don't want to smoke this shit.
So the Delta 8 is like less potent THC.
Yeah, it's just a modified, it's like a scientifically modified version of THC.
Okay.
Gets you high.
That makes more sense to me now.
Yeah.
Because we've been buying, there's like this store, this head shop down the street, and they sell that product.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, do you have any leaf? And he's like, no, but I got flower. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, what's the difference? It's not the same thing.
It's definitely the same thing. I think it's just he's just being an asshole. It sounds like he's just being a good old fashioned asshole.
But it's the Delta 8 shit, and we've been smoking it, and I'm like, I'm definitely getting high, but not as high as I would be if I bought from my boy Luis.
Right, and that's why, because it's genetically modified weed.
I'm glad I know that now, and I don't feel like I'm being ripped off.
No, you have to smoke like 4 times as much to get the same level of buzz, but it's more for the euphoric aspects. But no, I still, at the end of the day, I like to support my local my local street entrepreneur. They always have the best shit.
That's right, man. You gotta support your local comic book stores too. You know what I
mean? Absolutely. And usually, sometimes I can get both at the same place, but that's neither here nor there. All right.
That's cool. I want that fucking deal, bro.
Yo, that's the business, man. Once the rats start popping up, a comic book store with all types of bongs, like a head shop comic book store merged. Just read comic books under a star projector and smoke bud. I think I've got a business idea. Let me go. When I have good ideas and I'm high, I keep a notepad because you never know when that shit will come back. So that's a good idea.
Well, you just need to make sure the people that are burning on one side of the store and then the books are on the other side. Because
a lot of flammable. Yeah, definitely. That would suck. I didn't think about that part. There's kinks in it that would have to work out. That's
I think of everything because I'm OCD.
No, I'm OCD, but in like other ways, like health. I've found a quick funny story. I did not know. I've been working for this company for 11 years. Did not know I was paying into a health spending account for 11 years. And I was messing with my insurance, like updating some shit. And I was like, what is this card? Dude, I had like $13,000 because it rolls over every year. They give you $1,000 every year. And it rolls over. I never spent a dime of it. So I was like, dude, what can I use this money on? Like, and they were like, pretty much anything for your healthcare. If you need glasses, or dental care, or whatever. I was like, dude, I'm about to get everything fixed. So they have like an HSC store on Amazon. So I've just been ordering, like I got these fucking, I'm going to do the whole podcast with these shits on. I have these fucking copper wired compression gloves for like arthritis. I figure I don't fucking have arthritis. But now I definitely won't fucking get arthritis. Because I've got...
That's funny as fuck.
Dude, I was
I wish if I had $13,000 to spend on my healthcare, I'd be like the healthiest man in the world right now.
Yeah. I'm definitely like, I probably should get like checkups and shots and maybe look into a lap band surgery. But instead, the kid in me, I'm like, I'm gonna get cool shit. So I've got like these compression gloves. It makes me look like a rapping hobo, but that's cool. I got this fucking Canjo spine adjuster that I put in my fucking seat. Oh, for that lower lumbar. Oh, dude. Wow. I bought a fucking massage, feet massagers and all that shit is so.
That's
I'm
nice,
like,
man.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I'm on Amazon just having a blast. I'm like, health is wealth, and then like vitamins and shit.
Wait, so you can just use the card on Amazon?
Yeah, as long as it says HSA approved, then you use it right on the card. If you use anything that's not, you couldn't like use it on a big screen TV or PlayStation 5 or anything. But anything that's like in that healthcare, and they have some good shit. I was like, dude. Welcome to the Unnamed Comic Book Podcast with your boy Mars and my boy
Johnny Raps.
We're here to talk about the best shit in comic book culture, have a blast, have a few laughs, and you guys are going to get to watch every single bit of that shit. So normally we do a little bit of raps, reads. Normally we do a little bit, and we have got the official name. It is, as you can see, the
Unnamed
Comic Book Podcast, the UCP, coming to you motherfuckers. So I love that shit, man. So, bro, how's it been, man? How you been doing raps? You had a big release on 420, man. I hope you guys
check
it out. Talk about it.
Okay, so the song is called Faded. It's a pretty straightforward weed song. Actually, the lyrics say this is a weed song.
Weed song.
So it's pretty straightforward. That's I always said if I did a song about coming out with weed, I wanted to be like, this is a weed song in the song.
It's perfect, man. It's perfect.
Yeah. Because part of my brand is part of my, part of the humor behind my brand is just being like that on the nose with certain things. It's not my first weed song. My first weed song was COVID 420 in the Quarantine Rhyme King EP. But what I really love about this song, especially, is the video. The visuals are super cool, and it's a super original concept. I didn't think that my director Mike would be able to pull it off, really, when he told me what he wanted to do. Because he was just like, look, man, like we had already done like a big shoot the day before at like a legit studio. That's where we did like the Pussy video, right. And we did another video that I haven't put out yet with the dancers and stuff. And then we're at the studio the next day, and Mike was like, dude, I got this idea for the Faded song. Let's just fucking do it. And like we were in one of the studio rooms, and he just plops down the 360 camera and a table in the middle of the room. And he's like, okay, you're going to do the song here, and then we're going to change your outfit, and you're going to do the song in this chair, and then we're going to change your outfit, and you're going to do the song in this chair. And just make sure you don't like cross this plane with any of your movements, and I'm pretty sure I can get this to work in all one shot. And so the whole video, it's just rotating. And you're seeing me, you're seeing my rotation with myself. And we got Rob in there, so there is one person that is not me. And then, because I always try to at least try to get him a cameo. It doesn't always work work out, but I always try to get him a cameo in the videos. And yeah, so it's so cool because it's just one shot, the whole thing, and it just spins. And then towards the end of the video, it spins like upwards, and then you see all of me rapping at the same time, all 5 different Johnny raps, just like smoking it. I don't think anything like it's been done before. Do you?
Not at all. Not at all. I agree. The visuals are fucking dope. I looked at it and I was like, dude, creativity is so much more important than a ton of money because that shit looks like a ton of money, a ton of.
Do you know how much it cost me?
$3.99?
$3.99 was exactly what I was gonna say.
$3.99, bro. We're fucking linked, man. We're fucking linked, man. And I feel like a hobo. If you guys are wondering what's going on before we started recording, I have not become, there's no fireplace oil drum going on. These are compression gloves. Long story. Continue. I just
trying to prevent the future arthritis.
Exactly. Like,
anyways, yeah, man. Faded. I'm real proud of it. I don't know. I don't really know how it's doing. I haven't been like checking streams or anything like that. I don't expect it to do as well as Pussy ever will. But yeah, it's a solid weed song.
Perfect thing about it, 420 comes every year, and timeless music doesn't age, man. It's like making a fucking Christmas song.
Well, that was my mistake with COVID 420. I was like, fuck. This is very specific to an old 420 that nobody ever hopes will happen again.
Yeah, no, it's not something that you want. And a lot of people, they don't think about that. I always think about 1999, and I still listen to 1999, but I'm like, damn, remember that R&B guy had that song, like, I'm sorry for 2004. I was like, you had no plans on performing this song that year. Yeah. You just dated the fuck out of that song. It's like Ruben, a fat guy named Ruben. That's hilarious. Yeah, that was his name, Ruben. Yeah.
And where do we, so where does it go from being topical to timeless? Because, like, I could listen, like, Eminem is, like, saying shit about Bill and Hillary Clinton and stuff like that. But his songs, to me, are still timeless in that regard.
I think if the song, like 1999, if the song is good enough, it can certainly, when people say Cash Money taking over for the 99 and 2000 in 2022, you still get up and get on the dance floor if the song is good enough. But sorry for 2004. No offense, Ruben. You're more than welcome to come on down in the den. But probably wasn't the level of song that he needed to age it at that point.
Yes.
That's probably just my opinion. But that's why we love this show, because we go from weed songs to talking about Ruben Studdard to what you guys came in here for, to talk about some comic book shit. Normally we do rap reads, but these two late guys, we have just seen the Batman, and I know it's been out for what, fucking month now, 45, at least 40.
Well, it was in theaters for a month before they put it on HBO. That was the whole plan.
And Raps saw it in the theater. I saw it on
last week.
And I saw it on HBO Max on literally 420. I got my herbals. I got my cold sips. Screen. I had my nachos, and I had a fucking great 420, just chilling, watching the Batman. So we're going to talk about that shit. We're going to break down what we liked about it, where we ranked it in the realm of Batman films, and we'll probably talk about some of our favorite Batman stories. So, if you guys
all
are
about
ready,
Batman tonight. Which
all
is
about the
appropriate
Batman.
Because it's the same bat time, same bat channel. You know what I'm saying?
Same bat channel. Hell yeah. So, first, let's talk about, before we get into the movie, what was your first exposure to Batman? Do you remember your first medium of Batman? Was it comic book? Was it like Adam West?
It was Adam West, bro.
Adam West, yeah.
It was Adam West, bro.
West.
Before I even got into comics, I was, I was a toddler in the 80s who had a brother that was 10 years older than me, and he was still watching his Batman shows and stuff. And the Flash. Remember the first live action Flash?
Yeah, I remember with the dude. He ended up being on the CW Flash.
He's on the new one now as the old.
He played his dad, and then he played the old Flash from the. So he's
Jay Garrick.
Yeah, Jay Garrick.
Flash.
Yeah.
So, it was Adam West, and fun fact, that's the only Batman, the movie, the Adam West one.
Yeah, 69.
Batman the movie.
The movie, yeah, with the shark, epic movie.
With the exploding shark, which they had to defeat with the shark repellent bat
shark
spray.
repellent that he just happened to have.
The shark repellent. Yo, that scene is so fucking hilarious because, folks, if you haven't seen this movie, this is like the first action sequence in it.
Please.
And they're in the Batcopter over the ocean. Batman is going down to investigate a yacht. He goes down onto it. The yacht turns out to be a mirage, and he gets a shark latched onto his leg. And he's hanging on the ladder that's coming out of the helicopter, dangling with this giant shark on his leg.
A great white shark dangling.
And he goes, Robin, bring me the shark repellent bat spray. And then fucking Robin turns, and they got a thing that says shark repellent on it, and he come down, and it's the longest scene too. I was like, his leg would already been bit off by now, like gone, dude. Because Robin's
he had no armor. He was just in long
his time coming down, and then he does this whole unnecessary maneuver where he like hangs upside down to give Batman the spray. I know this so vividly because the Batman prompted me to go and watch Batman the movie again for like the first time in mad years. Because I was like, it's the only one I haven't like rewatched in recent history. And
probably watched it 3 times, but it's hilarious.
What is really special to me was that in this new The Batman, spoiler alert, the Rogues Gallery is the Penguin, Catwoman, Riddler, and Joker. And that was the whole thing about Batman the movie, was that all 4 of them teamed up.
Yeah. It was very much on purpose that was done as well. There's a lot. Oh,
really?
Yeah, there's a lot of elements that Matt Reeves pulled from all of the genres to kind of make this his own version, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, same thing for me. Adam West was my first Batman. He used to come on Nickelodeon. So when I would walk home from school when I was in elementary school, like 6, 7, 8, which is funny that you let a 6-year-old walk home from school, Mom. Cool. Could have, never mind. But but in retrospect, I'm like, the 80s were way different. So
much different, bro.
So much different. It was like just
I was a latchkey kid too, bro.
Same too, bro. That's how I learned how to chef it up, man. I was just cooking. It could barely be on the stove, but I was in there whipping. Some people were whipping cocaine in the hood. I was making Kraft macaroni and cheese on the stove, like coming home, cooking for myself at 8. But Adam West, I love the camp. I love the ridiculousness. I love the Rogues Gallery. I love that Cesar Romero is like, I'm not shaving my fucking mustache off. Fuck you. I'm going to be the Joker with a whole thick mustache just painted over.
Well, what's funny about him, and I'm going to pretty soon probably go back and rewatch the show because I think it's now on one of the streaming services.
I think it's on HBO Max, if I'm not
mistaken. Yeah. So I'm going to go back and rewatch all that crazy shit. And what stood out to me in the movie was the Riddler, the way the Riddler was portrayed, and I forget that actor's name.
Paul Dano.
Okay, Paul Dano.
Yeah.
No. Paul Dano's in the new movie.
Oh, you're talking about
the old movie.
Oh, Glenn Burge. No, that was
Burgess Meredith was
Meredith was the Penguin.
Penguin, yeah.
Fuck, I know his name. It's on the top of my head, man.
Whatever, man. So the dude that did the Riddler back then was actually like, to me, more Jokerish than the Joker was.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
In their interactions in that movie, the Riddler is the one that's always up and hyper and giggling and shit, and the Joker is the one in all of these scenarios that's being like, "Really? That's your plan?
Yeah.
This is gonna suck."
Yeah.
And then the Riddler starts giggling, and then he's like, "Ooh," and then they like giggle together. So in the Batman, when they started laughing together in Arkham.
Yeah, in Arkham.
I was just like, that's so perfect, man. I was like, yes.
Have you seen the deleted scene of Batman and the Joker?
Yes. I don't know why the fuck they would cut that.
I have some sneaking suspicions. I don't think they were confident in the Joker's look. I think they weren't ready.
Well, that's why he's always obscured.
He's always obscured. And because when I looked at it, I think there may have been, when they played it for test audiences, and this is just my theory, that look was so off-putting. I think the actor did a phenomenal job. He was in...
Well, that actor is off-putting. I don't know his name, but the killing of a sacred deer was some weird fucking shit.
Yeah, Barry Keoghan is his name. He was in the Eternals as well. Played.
Oh, I need to check. Then I'm late on that.
You don't need to watch Eternals. It was trash. To take my word, you know.
But I've seen every MCU movie, so I feel like I have to.
It's so unrelated. Actually, go ahead and check it out, because when you see it, you're going to be like, fuck, I wish I didn't see that. Because it's that type of movie where you're like, you know what, you just need to experience for it yourself.
But I'm so busy. I'm just behind, especially on the Marvel cinema. Like, I haven't seen Eternals. I only saw the first episode of Hawkeye, and I haven't seen any other Disney Plus content since then. I haven't seen any of the new Star Wars shit since, like, the first season of The Mandalorian. I haven't seen fucking Moon Knight, who everybody is raving about his first episode and shit. I mean, dude, I love Fan. What the fuck is his name? Dude, I can't remember names when I'm on it.
The guy from Moon Knight? Oscar Isaac?
Yeah, dude, he's a fantastic actor. I can't wait to watch
he's amazing.
I mean, I love Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
And a lot of people be fronting. I'm not going to lie, I did like him as Apocalypse. I did not like his look.
It was only his look. If they would have
only the look.
If they would have took their time and money and did it like they did Thanos, where they motion captured, but it was mostly computer generated, because Apocalypse Oscar Isaac's like 5'8". You know what I mean?
Dude, he's not. He's like smaller than me. I met him in real life.
Yeah, he's tiny as shit. And
bro.
Apocalypse is a character that has to be done like a Thanos, like a Hulk. It has to be computer animated because he's hulking. I thought Josh Brolin. I thought Cable should have been maybe even animated, or CGI. But yeah, I think that.
Like Apocalypse is a bad guy on par with Thanos, though.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Like Cable's a human, so
yeah.
And his arm was fucking CGI or whatever. But, but yeah, like Apocalypse is on par with Thanos. Like Thanos is a big fucking purple dude, and Apocalypse is a big fucking blue and purple dude. So like, yeah, that makes sense to me that he should have been that CGI. Level.
Yeah, it's just the Fox like to cut corners with their budget. You know, that's why they did the Wolverine look like it cost $7.99. I think I could have shot that shit on an iPhone 6. It was just, some of the special effects of that movie were hideous.
My least favorite effect in that movie is Lady Viper's tongue.
Okay,
and then they had to literalize it and make Lady Viper actually a fucking viper.
When you don't have a Kevin Feige-like person, or a person that actually loves comic books and respects it, leading, and you have studio people doing that, like you and I could probably fix DC movies in 2 weeks. Someone that actually loves and respects and is part of the culture. That's why Kevin Feige is good at what he does.
I think that was the big shift in the movies. That's the big shift in that is the thing that the MCU has done so well. Because even they understand that in cinema we have to take liberties. We have to somewhat tell our own story because you can't reproduce fucking
70
40
years, 40
60,
years,
however many years of continuity.
Right.
Yeah. But you can still be true to the comic in a way, and that was what. But you have to love the comic to be able to do that. Tim Burton did not fucking like Batman.
No, not at all.
Grow up reading Batman.
No.
And then they were gonna have him do a Superman movie. That shit looks crazy. I wish they did that shit.
Did you see the stills of Nicolas Cage with the hair and the rubber Superman suit?
Well, bro, I saw this documentary that you cannot find anywhere now, and it was called. What the fuck?
Was it The Death of Superman?
It was called
something like that.
It was called The Death of Superman Lives or something to that.
Yeah.
Because the movie was supposed to be called Superman Lives.
Right.
And this was called The Death of Superman Lives, Why It Never Happened, or some big convoluted title. I watched it for free on YouTube when it first came out, and now you can't find it anywhere. I found what's that?
I didn't see it. I remember it came out and I wanted to watch it, but I didn't know where to find it, and I never got to see it. But I remember hearing about it.
Dude, in order to let you have that experience, I might go back into searching for a hard copy of it, because what happened, I think, the documentary maker died.
Oh.
I looked into it. The documentary maker died, and there was some rights issue, and it's just gone. And on YouTube, what's funny is he fucks with you on YouTube. If you go because I went back to YouTube to show it to somebody, and I started watching it, and 3 minutes into it, it cuts into this weird thing where there's these people wearing bunny masks and dancing to techno. And they're doing creepy things like peeking out from doors and stuff and then dancing. But it's the duration of the actual movie. So he shot this shit to fuck with people that were trying to watch his movie on free on YouTube, right?
Jesus, that's
because it's the 2.5 hour thing. And I'm showing it to my friend, and we're 3 minutes into it, and it's just and Kevin Smith is telling about the script he wrote, and then it's just weird bunny shit.
Let me tell you,
it was so
Darko. I don't like bunnies.
Yeah, but and they were Donnie Darko type bunnies too. And then
horrifying.
I tried to go look it up online, and it's you can only get a foreign Blu-ray, and it's a fucking $1,000 on eBay and shit. Because this is, dude, it's such a good documentary. I would say it's one of the top 5 best documentaries I've ever seen in my life. Kevin Smith, the way that he has Kevin Smith on there talking about his script and talking about the crazy fucking producer. I don't remember his name, but it's the same guy that produced a bunch of old Barry Sonnenfeld movies. He produced Men in Black, and he produced Wild Wild West.
Oh,
and so he's supposed to be a fucking maniac. This guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, because he did some. It's Barry Sonnenfeld, right? No, that's the director.
Barry Sonnenfeld's the director, but
he's the director of Men in Black.
Barry Sonnenfeld. He produced Will Smith Barry Sonnenfeld movies. So he produced Men in Black. He produced Wild Wild West, and this is the thing that sticks out most vividly to me in this documentary. Kevin Smith is telling his story, and he goes, he's I'm talking to this fucking crazy ass producer who knows nothing about Superman. And he's just I don't care what you do with the script. I have 3 stipulations. Number one, Superman never wears a cape. And Kevin Smith was like, Superman, the guy that flies, okay. That's why we'll use the black costume from from the Doomsday shit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So that's why you see Nicolas Cage wearing that costume in the weird photo shoots.
Plasticky,
the black and the silver.
Yeah, the black and silver shit.
Yeah, and then the second one was he can't fly. He can't fly. He can jump high, but he can't fly.
So it's just Man, the movie, because he's just a man now. It's not Superman, it's just man.
And then the third thing was he has to fight a giant spider in the final act. So Kevin Smith is telling this story about this, and then he's like, and then I go to see Wild Wild West. And I'm watching Wild Wild West.
Also,
at the end of that movie, he is like, this motherfucker finally got his giant spider.
Jesus
Turns out
Christ.
Kevin Smith's script wasn't even the one that they wasn't even the one they fired. That wasn't even the one they were going to use.
I'm sure it looked ridiculous, and I'm glad for Nicolas Cage and Tim Burton that it didn't come out, because they still got paid. They had pay or play contracts. So
dude, I think it would have been good. I think it would have been fucking crazy, man. I think it might have even changed the whole way that we look at Superman for the past, 20 years. I think it would have just changed all of that. Because it's a Tim Burton-esque Superman, which is like it makes sense for him to direct Batman, right? Because even if he doesn't like Batman,
the Gotham aesthetic is Tim Burton all the way.
Yeah, so to throw Superman into that aesthetic with no Batman team up would have just, to me, I just wish I could have seen. But I also like shitty stuff. I like camp. I really love, honestly, people are gonna front, but I love fucking Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. I'm a huge fan of that director, though. I love Lost Boys. What the fuck is his name?
Joel Schumacher.
Yeah, Joel Schumacher. I just love his shit. You know what I mean?
Lost Boys is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I love Lost Boys. I love
good, bro.
Young Guns 1 and 2. It was at one point the Sutherland, Estevez, Charlie Sheen connection. They were just making some dope shit. Flatliners. Yeah, bro. So fucking.
Batman and Robin is definitely a shitty movie, but I still enjoy it.
I tell you what, I rather look at Batman, and I love the MCU. I'm MCU to the core, but I would rather look at Batman and Robin over Captain Marvel. I would rather look at Batman and Robin over Thor 2. I would rather look at Batman and Robin over the Eternals. And I would rather look at Batman and Robin over... Yeah, I think those are only 3 MCU movies. Oh, that entire Inhuman series. I don't know if you ever saw that shit.
I tried to watch the first episode, and then they fucking didn't they cut Medusa's hair off or something?
The first episode, because they knew they didn't have the budget for the. Her hair is supposed to be alive, and
that's her power, bro.
It's literally her power.
That's why I stopped watching. I was like, "The fuck are you doing?"
They buzzed her head in the first episode, and I was like, "Oh no, oh no!" I sucked because the dude from Game of Thrones, Ramsay, was the bad guy, and I had such hopes. And Anson Bolt, he had done something decent, so I had high hopes. But when I saw,
that was my thing. I actually enjoyed his interpretation of that character.
Yeah, he was,
but that was it.
But that was it, and ironically, he had no lines. So because he's blackballed, so the writing was piss poor. The effects were awful. It looked like,
Wait, no, I think sorry to correct you. I thought the dude from Game of Thrones played the bad guy.
He did. Yeah. No. I was talking about when I was talking about Anson Bolt, who played Black Bolt.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, the guy from Game of Thrones, he was a bad guy. He was good.
Ramsey.
Yeah, he was good. He's good in whatever he does. So I had high hopes just on his character. I was like, oh, he's going to be stealing the scene. And I like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it was kind of a spinoff of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it was hot trash to the utmost. And
I didn't even watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Here's the thing. I stay away solely from network superhero shows. Like
CW, the Arrowverse,
like the Netflix shit. Like when they started putting out like the Daredevil on Netflix and stuff, I'm down. Even the DC shows that weren't on the CW, the DC shows that are now on HBO Plus, that were originally introduced on the DC Universe app, which is what they had. But were you
Harley Quinn?
Were you privy to that?
I had the app, that
was a cool app, man, because it was like
you could read the comic books, you would get the shows, they had Stargirl.
You got the whole fucking they got the whole DC library on that bitch.
Yeah, I had the app on my phone, but then HBO Max came in.
Yep, and then I was like, I ain't paying for this shit no more. They got all my shows that I like on there. And I really like Titans. I really like Doom Patrol. I still need to watch the 3rd season of Titans because,
Superman and Lois show that's up there is pretty good, and the Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah, Harley Quinn's hilarious.
Hilarious. I love that shit. Which Harley Quinn. Let's talk about the Batman. All right, so we both saw the Batman.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to fact check. Sorry to cut you off before we get started. I just wanted to fact check. The bad guy that Ramsey from Game of Thrones plays is Maximus.
Yes,
Maximus. I couldn't remember it. It was driving me fucking nuts because I love the Inhumans comics.
Yeah, the Inhumans. I was excited for the movie because remember they announced it as a movie before Marvel TV. They were butting heads, and so Marvel TV kind of just took the Inhumans. But it was going to be a movie, and it was going to be their answer to the X-Men because they didn't have the rights to the X-Men. So, I mean, that's kind of why they had in the new Miss Marvel show, they're kind of changing her origin story because, she's an Inhuman in the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't technically introduced the Inhumans in the MCU because they kind of exercise that. They're kind of like, oh, this shit exists. We don't know who made that. We don't know.
I'm real curious about how they're going to introduce mutants, but that's a whole other episode.
We can dedicate an episode to that because I definitely have theory.
Just postulating about how they're going to fucking bring the mutants in, bruh.
Dude, I have so
because they're going to. We know that's like the next big thing, and that's why that Kevin Feige, that son of a bitch, he's hanging on to that.
That's his.
I got you by the short hairs.
Yeah, that's a fucking pull 4, draw 4 card, and he's just waiting. He's like, and then he's just gonna slam that shit,
bro.
Oh, I'm so excited. So excited.
So much to look forward to.
So much to look forward to. It's the reason why I'm getting all this healthcare shit. I want to stay alive. Before I see all these movies.
Yeah, I've been drinking too much. I don't know if I'll make it, but we'll see.
You'll be fine. You'll
make it through phase 2. Man, how long is phase 2 gonna be?
Well, this is phase 4. They haven't even said.
This is phase 4?
Yeah, we're in phase 4 now.
Jesus.
Yeah. Phase 1 ended with the first Avengers. Phase 2 ended with, I think...
Endgame?
No. Phase 2, I think, ended with, like, Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man movie. Because they ended it weirdly off of Ant-Man. And Phase 3 ended with Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, yeah, Far From Home. Yeah.
And Phase 4 started with WandaVision, so we're in Phase 4 now, and they haven't announced the slate for Phase 5 or 6, or even when Phase 4 ends. But
I heard he's not doing any more Avengers movies, which I think is stupid.
I think the next Avengers movie, they're definitely going to do Avengers.
The next Avengers movie should be New Avengers.
I think what they're going to do now, because they'll definitely be back for Secret Wars, but they want people to, thirst for those original 6 Avengers. So they'll probably bring them back, a variant version of themselves for Secret Wars. But you still got to build the Fantastic Four. You got the Young Avengers. They pretty much have the whole cast of Young Avengers has already been featured.
Yeah, they've been introduced in many ways. Speed and Wiccan were introduced.
Yeah, West Coast Avengers. You pretty much have White Vision. You have Hawkeye. You have everybody you need for West Coast.
That's what I'm saying. That's if I had my say, they would do West Coast Avengers, and then West Coast Avengers with the characters from the movies, right? Like Sam Wilson, Wanda, Vision, Hawkeye. Fucking, you could even, I don't even care. You throw in John Walker.
Yeah.
Do all that. And then what was the character's name? Black Widow's little sister or whatever. She could be.
She's also Black Widow, but Florent, her Yolana Belova.
Yeah, fucking what was the name of that scary movie?
With the flowers. Shit.
Oktoberfest.
No,
I'm kidding. It's not what it's called.
Sorry to all my Germans. No. But yeah, no, that movie was fucking dope, man.
What the fuck is that movie called?
Marty.
Fact check it.
Yeah,
it's not It's the second movie that Hereditary did.
Yeah, same director, except this was Super Daylight.
Midsummer.
Yeah, Midsummer.
Midsummer. And so Midsummer, bitch, you could throw her in there.
Yeah.
I looked all that up just so that I could call her Midsummer, bitch.
You got a whole team there.
Okay, so do that, okay? And then here's what I'm saying. Check me out on this, bro. You're going to love this idea. They're not going to do it because they're not that smart. But they've already started tying in the Netflix characters, right? Like now they're canon. Now Daredevil is canon.
Yeah, we've seen Kingpin. We've seen Daredevil.
So now Daredevil's canon, right?
Yeah.
Which means all of his other homies in the Defenders from that show have to be canon.
Yeah.
And who was the fucking original, like, new Avengers, dude?
Luke Cage,
Jessica Jones, Iron Fist.
Yeah. I don't think he's coming back. I think they'll recast him, but Finn.
But that's what I'm saying. They could do two Avengers if they were smart. They could do two Avengers teams at once.
Absolutely, and then they can still do. They can do the new Avengers. They can do the Young Avengers. They can do the West Coast Avengers. Then they'll have Fantastic Four, and then you'll have the Midnight Suns because you got Doctor Strange, you got Blade coming, you got what you call it has been introduced, Black Knight. If they want,
do you think they're going to do another Ghost Rider anytime?
I think he'll be featured. I don't think he'll probably get a starring role, but I could definitely see him being like an antagonist to a Blade or something like that, and then eventually becoming a good guy. But I don't think he'll get another solo movie. He may get a Disney Plus series. There's so much content that they have to keep putting out, especially when certain shows aren't coming back. Like WandaVision isn't coming back. Hawkeye isn't coming back. So they'll need more shit to replace it. So I could see it being a TV show, but I don't think they'll invest the $200 million to do a solo.
Well, the fun thing that they can do is like they're not slated to do another season of Hawkeye, right?
Right.
But like, what if we watch Kate Bishop grow up in the movies and shit?
Yeah,
then they decide they just want to do a second season, like fucking 5-6 years from now.
That's the beauty.
They can do that.
They could do that, and it made sense. Like they're not WandaVision. You can't do that concept anymore because you can't keep taking over towns and you can't die hard a bitch. You know how John McClane kept getting in these scenarios, and after the fifth one, you're like, dude, you're unlucky. How many terrorist situations are you going to be in? You're just a New York cop. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Or Chicago cop or whatever he was from. So you can't.
You know what pissed me off about Die Hard? I just got to say it, man, because you brought it up. When they made that fourth movie, and it was PG-13, and John McClane could not say fuck. Like he sees he wasn't John McClane anymore. He was just Bruce Willis.
It was Bruce Willis, and I think, did they make 4 or 5 Die Hard movies? I think they made
maybe 6, bro. I don't know. Like they made multiple after the third movie to me is where the real series ends, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
And then after that, they made like at least 2 or 3 PG-13 movies.
Yeah, because I know
I watched the first one and I was just like, I can't fuck with this dude.
At one point, his son was introduced, and like him and his son were going against like the Russian cyber hackers or something like that. And I was like,
yeah.
John
Producers, Hollywood producers, please listen to us on this one.
Please.
The worst thing that you can do is take a rated R franchise and turn it into PG-13. Fuck Alien vs. Predator.
And then they made a sequel. They made a sequel to Alien.
But the sequel is rated R.
Yeah, because they learned from their lesson.
It's still shitty, but it's rated R.
Yeah, at least Marvel knows they're not going to do a PG-13 Deadpool. They knew they couldn't get away with that. So
like when they started putting out the Disney Plus shows, I was like, damn, man, like now I got to watch shows.
Right.
But honestly, like because of what we just talked about, it's like the best idea because you can do character development outside of the films.
Right. Yeah, and then once the movie comes, it could just be all action, spend all your special effects, and you can watch the show and that. It's essentially visual comic books. You're watching volumes and volumes and volumes, and then the movies are like the big crossover events. And it's a genius idea. It's a genius, and I see DC is going to do that. I don't know if you saw, but they have 2 spinoffs coming from the Batman.
Word?
Yeah, so they're doing a Penguin spinoff, which will show the rise of the Penguin.
Colin Farrell Penguin?
Yes.
Best character in the movie, bro. In my opinion, best character in the movie.
Chef's kiss. I agree 100%.
Finally nailed that. Like that's the comic book version of Penguin that I want to see. And
perfect.
don't get me wrong, I love Danny DeVito Penguin. He is definitely my favorite character.
Nothing wrong with him.
He's my favorite character from all of those original series, the Tim Burton series. But and a lot of people would disagree with me. A lot of people are obviously going to be like Jack Nicholson as the Joker was the most amazing. But like to me as a kid, I was already a fan of Danny DeVito. Like I grew up watching Nick at Night, so I was watching Taxi. And I watched Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I fucking love Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
I did not read credits when I was a child, and I did not know that was Danny DeVito as the Penguin until I was like a teenager. And it just, when I found that out, I was like, I had no idea that was him. And there's no resemblance.
No, it's up the height, but.
And he doesn't do characters like that elsewhere. He's normally like funny guys.
Yeah, he just plays himself, essentially, really.
Yeah, like Always Sunny is just that. Like,
it's just him.
He's Frank.
Which, how have they not made a Twins with The Rock and Kevin Hart? That seems like a no-brainer if you're going to remake a movie, Hollywood. It's just literally right there. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Rock, Danny DeVito, Kevin Hart, both little guys. Just saying,
Hey, bro, yeah, like somebody's actually going to watch this podcast and steal that from you, and it's.
I'm pretty sure. Like, we'll see an announcement in a couple months, like, me and Kevin Hart decided to work together, executive produced by Arnold, and they can make Arnold Schwarzenegger the grandfather. Bring him back.
I fucking loved Colin Farrell's Penguin.
He was masterful.
Just nailed it, bro. I still I've watched that movie like 3 times now, and I don't see Colin Farrell at all. At all. I'm just like, no. Like, is there another actor named Colin Farrell?
There's one slight scene when the car's flipped over, when the epic chase scene and Batman launches that super dope, probably my favorite Batmobile, by the way, because it's just
it's a real ass car.
Just a muscle car.
It's just a muscle car, bro.
Just a muscle car.
And that chase scene, let's talk about that chase scene, bro.
Let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it.
No, give me your question first.
So Batmans are known for epic chase scenes. You had your Dark Knight with the truck flipping over, and Joker with the slaughter.
Joker just shooting out the side.
You have
I didn't think you could beat that, but then you have the Batman versus Superman chase scene.
Batman versus Superman chase scene, which was epic.
He fucking murdered like 900 people during that scene.
Many people. He killed so many people in that movie. I was like, is this the Punisher?
In the comics, they're like, Batman doesn't kill. And then there's actually a hilarious YouTube video where it's a kill count. You go to YouTube and search Batman kill count.
That. It was like,
and it shows all the movies. And he murders people in every one of those fucking movies.
Everyone. Michael Keaton murdered so many people in that movie. And that in the last scene when he was going up, not only did he kill the Joker, literally he tied the gargoyle to his leg. What did you think was going to happen, Batman? That he was going to bounce off? He kicked at least 3 people off of that huge tower to their death in the last battle scene alone.
Dude, in Batman Returns, when he's fighting the circus freaks, he straps a thing of dynamite into the strong guy's belt and then smiles at him before he blows up.
Yeah, he's a mass murderer.
It's like a comedy take.
Yeah, he's like, waka, waka, waka. I hit him with the 5. After he blew him up, I was just waiting for that to be his catchphrase or something like that. He literally Acme murdered him.
So Ben Affleck Batman, definitely the most brutal, most murderous Batman.
For sure. No,
yeah,
for
so
sure.
that from that chase scene alone, he took out a lot of people. But then we got the Batman chase scene.
Epic.
Want to set her up?
Yeah, bro. So we have the whole prospect. Batman's chasing after the Penguin because he thinks that he's this notorious rat that the Riddler's talking about. Riddler's mass murdering. We'll talk about Riddler on the ranking of villains. But he's going through. It's the debut of the Batmobile in the film. Before that, he pretty much had just been wearing, I guess, the Bat Cycle, but it was just a regular motorcycle. And it's epic. It's nothing crazy where you were like, who the hell fabricates a giant bat? Like, it would be very easy to track down Batman because all you would have to do is say, who fabricates giant bat cars? If you're looking at like Michael Keaton's Batman, it was literally shaped like a bat, you know. At least with the Christian Bale Batman, it made sense because Wayne Enterprises made weapons, just painted with black. Okay, cool. But this is just a muscle car that you could tell it's probably a grease monkey. He souped it up himself. He has money to buy the best parts. And it was brutal and it was powerful and it was bulletproof and epic as shit. And it was like a tank muscle car. I love that shit. Just the car alone, the sound of that shit.
I'm not even a car dude, but I thought it was fucking cool, man.
Dude, I love American muscle cars, and you know, I didn't know that the Confederate flag on the Dukes of Hazzard car was offensive. I was like, "This is my dream car," and my dad was like, "What the hell, boy?" But I was like, "Dude, I love that. I love the car." But it was epic, and Colin Farrell, you know, I didn't see him. It was one where you could see in his eyes. You could see a little glimpse of him when he was upside down. But other than that, like you said, if they would have told me that was computer generated like Thanos, I'd have said, okay, that was more believable than him in a suit.
Literally my favorite part in the movie is when Bruce Wayne, as Bruce Wayne, first encounters what is it? Salvatore Maroni?
Sal Maroni, yeah.
Yeah, so when he first encounters Salvatore Maroni, fucking brilliantly played by John Turturro.
He's a master.
So brilliantly, so when he encounters him for the first time, you know, Penguin is Penguin is
right hand man.
Maroni's sidekick, actually.
Yeah,
is his lackey in
right.
a way, and which I think was a cool way to introduce the Penguin, like to actually have him working for somebody else, because like you don't really see that in the comics.
It's their origin story, so it made sense. They had to have a start. You know what I mean? It's not Batman's origin story; it's their origin story.
Yeah, you don't always start out as the boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I, dude, that little bit of dialogue, just fucking, I laugh every time I see it when Salvatore Maroni turns to the Penguin and he's like, "Hey, have you ever met Bruce Wayne?" And Penguin looks at him and goes, is that right? And I was just like, that's not even, what kind of thing is that to say when you meet a person? He just looks at him and goes, is that right? Bruce Wayne. And I was just like, that is so fucking cool.
Bro, it was like if James Gandolfini and Marlon Brando had a baby. Not Marlon Brando, that's me. Marlon Brando had a baby.
Mob shit, bro.
Mob shit. I loved it. I was like, is Gotham Chicago? Because he was giving me the Chicago mob accent. But, you know, I don't know where Gotham is at in relation to America. Where sometimes you see it like on the East Coast. Sometimes you see it like middle America. I'm like, where the hell is Gotham supposed to be?
Well, I'm going to play it off nonchalant anytime somebody introduced me to somebody like super famous or wealthy. Because, like, it'll be like, yo, Johnny, meet Tom Brady. And we'll be like, is that right?
Probably like,
Tom Brady, is that right?
He'd probably be like, who the fuck is that?
What does that even mean?
I got 7 rings, so bro. Yeah, he was.
Okay, what's the other show, bro? What's the other show they're doing, the spinoff?
So the other one, it started off, it was going to be a Gotham PD focusing on James Gordon. But I guess they said that was too much like Gotham. So now it's evolved into an Arkham show, which is going to focus on Barry Keoghan's Joker, Paul Dano's Riddler, and they'll be introducing other roads in the Gotham show. And then the Gotham PD will be, you know, bringing in people. So it'll be kind of, Matt Reeves described it as like a horror Gotham show set in Arkham. So you might see maybe a Dr. Hugo Strange, maybe testing on these people. You know, it is so many elements. And then that'll link to the sequel of what they're going to do next with the Batman 2, you know, whatever it's going to be called. So yeah, that was epic. What did you think about Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman? It's been a lot of Catwomen. Where's she rank up there for you? Best
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Best Catwoman.
For sure. It was Michelle Pfeiffer until her, but I think she was very one of the coolest things to me, which I love that you can get with having a Patman. I'm gonna to differentiate the Batman, so I'm gonna call Patterson Patman. So
we got Batfleck.
We got Batfleck and Patman. So
I love it.
I love how he showed his youth where, you know, he's in, although it was kind of creepy that he was stalking her. It was very, very rapey Batman. He was just, oh yeah. Oh, she's changing in her underwear. I could turn away, but I'm going to continue.
But did they hook up?
She kissed him a couple times, but no, they didn't.
But that's it. They don't actually
they don't actually
that relationship in the movie. I appreciated that.
Yeah, no, he was focused. She was trying to.
He was not after the pussy.
No, at all. You know, which is available streaming now on all platforms. But yeah, no. When he goes into her apartment, he's like, "You got a lot of cats." You know, she's like, "I have something about strays," and he's like, "I'm fucking allergic. I need an EpiPen." That would have been the only twist.
It was funny. When like me as a cat owner, like the first time you see her, she goes to the apartment and she's gonna change into Catwoman to go break into that safe, right, for the first time.
Right.
And you see her in her bedroom, and you see like Batman's watching her, right?
Right.
You see her in her bedroom with how many cats she has, and like I said, I'm a cat owner. She doesn't stop to pet or say hi to not one of those cats, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, that was the only thing that threw me off about Catwoman, is I was like, she didn't show no love to her cat. And
if you remember when she left, she only took one cat with her. if you look, she has a little box on the back of her motorcycle. She puts one cat in. I'm like, you had like
That's
9
ISIS.
cats. So
That's
she
ISIS.
took one with her. So now, of all the villains, we've had a lot of great villains. Some not so much in the Batman series, cinematic versions. You know, of course, Jack Nicholson Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker were classic. I actually liked Tom Hardy's Bane. I thought he was cool. Some people not so much.
That's my favorite.
Liam.
I'm not going to waste any time. Tom
Yeah.
Hardy's Bane's my favorite cinematic Batman villain ever.
He's
I don't
fucking
care
awesome.
if you think it's fucking campy. He is a brilliant artist. Like me, having been an actor myself, and I think I actually take the same approach that he does because he is very. I don't think he's method. I think he is very focused on, you know, his voice, and then his movements, or the way that he embodies the character. You can see the way the things that he does, even with his hand gestures, are very theatrical.
Yeah.
And I would never front on that performance. I think it's a great thing when you can look at a character like that and feel threatened and be nervous about what he's going to do, and at the same time laugh about it. Because, like, he's also, like, the most imitable Batman bad guy from the movies. Like, anybody can just be like, "Oh, from a brain," and you know what I mean? Like,
in the darkness.
Exactly.
Such a lovely singing voice.
So no, that's what you were gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, bro. And a lot of people slept on Bane. I thought he was awesome. I know a lot of people were at that time begging. They loved Heath's Joker so much. A lot of people was like, we want to see Leonardo DiCaprio as a Riddler. We want to see Johnny Depp as a Riddler. Everybody, but he needed a physical villain, and the fact that Tom Hardy's like 5'9", bro, and it was believable. That's how good of an actor he is. Like, Bane's this hulking beast, but instead of using the fictional Venom, they gave him like, I love the adaptation of what they did in the real world, and it made sense. Cause
that was the only thing about it, was like when he was able to punch through pillars. That was the only time where I was like, how can he do that without Venom in his system?
Right.
There's literally one time where he swings at Batman and he punches a concrete pillar and he punches through that shit.
He turns it to dust.
And I'm like, how do you do that without superpowers?
Yeah. That part with, unless that shit was just dry rotted, or it didn't make any sense. It would have made more sense if it was like an old warehouse and it was wood. You know, he knocked the wood pillar, but
it's like the courthouse steps.
Yeah, this shit's like marble. He would have been like, I need to have broken my hand, Batman.
But it was still badass.
Badass. When he picked up Batman and just over his knee. I love it.
And while we're on Dark Knight Rises, which was actually my favorite Batman movie before this, the Batman, I do not give in to Hathaway. I thought Anne Hathaway's Catwoman was a pretty cool version for that world.
Yeah,
the Batman.
She was fine. It's just, for me, I really like Anne Hathaway. She's as we say in the community, one of the good ones. I like Anne Hathaway. She's a great actor. She stands up for dope causes. I think she's dope. But for me, she just lacked Catwoman has to be a little bit more sneaky, a little bit more feline. Doesn't have to be sexy per se, but more femme fatale. And she didn't 100% give me that, but I totally rock with her. She was dope. I just feel like Zoe and Michelle are better. So if I'm looking at comparison.
Well, because here's the thing. I don't think Anne Hathaway, Catwoman, could ever be a bad guy.
No.
Right? Like, she was introduced, like, sure, she was, like, stealing shit and robbing from Bruce Wayne or whatever, but, like, she was introduced as, she was already introduced as like the anti-hero right there.
Yeah, and she was doing it for a good cause. She was helping good people. She was trying to get a fresh start. It wasn't just like, and they rarely put Catwoman, except the most probably comic accurate is probably the Harley Quinn cartoon with that Catwoman, where she's just kind of ruthless and
I haven't made it that far in the series.
Oh yeah,
I think I watched like the first season.
Dude, yeah, she's dope. I can't wait for season 3. She's played by Sanaa Lathan, voices the character, and she's just really like, yeah, I fuck Batman, and she's like, and he's a freak too. She's like super dope, and she's like so far above the rest of the like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. They were like, oh, she's so snooty because she fucks Batman. She thinks she's special, and it was like a very dope, accurate interpretation of her.
The difference between Zoe and Anne Hathaway that made a difference for me is, like I said, Anne Hathaway was like kind of introduced as the hero in a way. Again, even though she fucked with Bruce Wayne a little bit before that, Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman, even though she was the anti-hero, even though she ended up, basically being his sidekick at the end of the day, there was so much mystery behind whether or not she was a good guy for a good portion of the film that I did not feel that we lost that element of it.
Yeah,
I would like to see them do I would like to see them do a Batman movie or something again someday where like they just don't leak and Catwoman is just a fucking bad guy. But I don't think they'll ever, because of the way that they've established it in the comics to this point and in the movies now, I don't think it'll ever go back to that.
No, you can't make her just a straight up cat burglar. She always has to kind of be the wounded anti-hero because you have to have those redeeming qualities. She can't just be a flat out villain, because why would Batman, of all people, be the one to fall for her? So that's why they always give her that there's a little bit of good in her. Gordon, we've seen a lot of Gordons, and really, for me, my Gordon was always Gary Oldman. Still might be Gary Oldman because Gary Oldman's just awesome. But where do you rank? I also love Jeffrey Wright in everything he does. Like, this dude is a chameleon. He can play anything. I've seen him play like a Cuban gangbanger, and I've seen him play Martin Luther King, and he's super dope. But where'd you rank Gordon and their relationship in the Batman?
Jeffrey Wright, number 1.
Yeah, he killed
Jeffrey Wright, number 1. It's just, again, it needs no introduction.
Right.
Their relationship needs no introduction, and so I think it speaks for itself. Like, to me, the relationship between Batman and Commissioner Gordon is this always unspoken, like, brotherhood. Like, it's almost like they're brothers, and they don't, like, talk about it. They don't talk to each other about how close they are, but they've been through so much, and they're taking so many risks together that there is, like they love each other.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
With Gary Oldman, I sensed, like, I sensed that they needed each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they needed each other to make shit work.
Right.
But Gary Oldman, Commissioner Gordon, really never got to the point of having that relationship with the Batman. Yeah. In my opinion. I
agree. And it took 3 movies, and they still never got there where they established as soon as you saw the trust that he had to let Batman come in the crime scene and pretty much vouch for him like he's with me, that one scene established what they couldn't do in 3 movies with the Dark Knight series.
Exactly.
That one scene.
And you saw that in every scene with them together, too.
Yeah.
Even, like, in the bullpen where he's, like, fucking the cops up and he grabs them and he's like, this is not the way. This is not how we're going to do it.
Here's the key. Hit me.
Yeah.
He's like, you could have pulled a punch. She was like, I did.
But I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Like, for me, it's saying a lot because I was not a fan of Jeffrey Wright as an actor before this. I don't know why, but there was just something about him that, like, I couldn't connect with. Like, I hadn't seen him all in a whole lot. What's the Westworld? Like, I watched like the first season of Westworld, and I was like, okay, he's like an okay protagonist, I guess. I don't know what he's up to, but that show is strange too.
It's a strange show. I've watched it, but it's a strange show.
Yeah, but just like I was, dude. First of all, I was not expecting to like this movie at all.
Really?
I was not expecting to like this movie at all, and at the same time, I knew it was going to be fucking amazing because anytime I'm not expecting to like something, it blows me out of the water. Same with Joker. I was like, this is bullshit. There's no way they can make a Joker movie work without Batman being there first, and they did it. So, you know, I trust Warner Brothers in that regard, and so that's why I fucking just still watched it. You know what I mean? But I was like, you know, when I watched the trailer, I was like, Jeffrey Wright is commissioner. Like, none of this even feels right to me. But it all gelled together, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the Batman is an ensemble piece.
It is.
So it's not to me whether it's, you know, the best bad guy or whether Robert Patterson is the best Batman. This is the best Batman story that we've got on screen. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, I will never say anything like this, like, you know, definitively, because I always think that art is in the eye of the beholder, and you know, if somebody was to come up to me and be like, Illmatic is the best rap CD ever, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm just like, how can you ever fucking say that? There's so much other good shit, you know? So yeah, it's all subjective, but like subjectively to me, being with the wealth of knowledge that I have of Batman, these were the truest of the characters. And what's interesting is that it's so much more realistic than any of the comics are or any of the other movies. You know, it's and that was the thing that I wasn't really feeling when I saw the preview, because I'm like, do we really need a darker, more realistic Batman? Like, that's why I liked Batfleck, because I was like, yes, Justice League Batman. He can be larger than life because he's friends with Superman now. But I think this is the Batman story that we needed. And Jeffrey Wright was definitely the Commissioner Gordon that I needed, because, dude, he's so innocent. And again, it's all about this is something that sometimes people miss in cinema or in theater and stuff, but it's all about the relationships.
Yeah.
Even if two characters are just meeting for the first time, it's about that relationship and what might form. And so, like you said, you know, that scene where he walks him, that first scene where, you know, Commissioner Gordon leads him down the hallway into, you know, the murder scene, and everybody's just looking at Batman all crazy and shit. And
even tries to stop him. He's like, hey, you ain't supposed to be here. I'm like, dude, it's a 6 foot tall Batman.
I'll fuck you up.
This is what you think is going to stop the...
Dude, the police chief cracked me up.
Oh, the one that got promptly killed, the beard?
The one with the voice like this.
Yeah. The one that he was like, we're talking when the mayor died. He's like, he's one of us. And
that guy. Yeah, the second guy that gets killed.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
you're talking about him. I'm talking about.
Oh, the short police chief. Yeah.
Yeah, the police chief. The guy that got killed was the commissioner.
He was a commissioner. Yeah,
the guy that got like the thing put on his head.
Yeah,
but then the police chief was the guy with he's so New York, bro.
Yeah.
So New York, and he cracked me the fuck up.
It was funny because I was like, we have Colin Farrell going full Chicago, and then like you said, that chief was going full Bronx, New York, and I was like, where the hell is Gotham? Because everybody's like, hey, I'm gonna be some type of version of a gangster, but I don't know where. Where in America?
Well, like with Dark Knight Rises, they shot that in so many different cities.
Yeah, London,
They shot it in
Chicago,
Pittsburgh and Chicago and New
Yeah.
York. So it really, Gotham City really is every.
Yeah,
It's just take the shady parts of all your favorite cities and throw them together.
All shade. It was a dark movie. Now Riddler by far, the movie. It was almost his origin story more than Batman's origin story.
It was totally
probably the most interesting version of the Riddler. It's the Riddler that I've always liked, the dark, twisted serial killer vibe for the Riddler, because even though I love Jim Carrey, like you said, I like the camp. Jim Carrey's a guy, and I love Jim Carrey spinning the cane and the green leotard with the red dyed hair. It's cool. But this Riddler, and Paul Dano is creepy.
Dude. His eyes, bro.
Eyes have nothing behind them. They're so scary. It's just like when he's in a cell, and you could really see that he thought him and Batman were partners. You could see the betrayal when his heart breaks. Like, I wanted you here so we'd be safe. And when he says, "You're really not as smart as I thought you were," and I was like, "Oh, Batman really isn't as smart." Because he's early Batman. He hasn't earned the title of world's greatest. In fact, Alfred did a lot of the heavy work for him. He would just come back from the scene, and
Alfred was decoding and shit.
He was like, "Hey, man, I got the code for you right here." Batman said, "Oh, shit. I didn't read this. Thanks, Alfred."
Dude, Andy Serkis is Alfred.
What an inspired choice. And I'm not going to lie to you. Like you said, when you thought it was I thought it was a lot of stunt casting at first. So I was like, Twilight is Batman? Lenny Kravitz's daughter, a Catwoman, isn't she like 12?
Fucking, I literally just said his name, Andy Serkis. He really has an interesting career right now because he just directed the Carnage movie.
Yeah, he directed the second Venom. He was in the MCU as Claw. Of course, all the motion capture stuff. He's a god in that realm.
Yeah, this guy's been King Kong and Gollum, like.
He was also in Planet of the Apes, so Matt Reeves had that connection with them from working with him in Planet of the Apes. So it makes sense that he brings them back to play a pivotal role. It's funny though, one thing that I thought was hilarious, when Alfred finds the letter, which clearly when you get a letter with that frantic writing on it, kids, don't open that shit. Trust me. He's just like, "For Bruce only." And he's like, boom. I'm like, dude, you're a smart guy. You just decoded all this shit. It's in the same handwriting as the letters that you have seen that you've been decoding for Batman, and you open that motherfucker anyway. It made no sense. I was like, Alfred, what the hell, bro? You dumb as shit. Now, who's the chick? I've read a lot of Batman in my life. Batman was my first comic book.
Sure.
Who was this random chick that was living in Wayne Estate? I don't remember her in any comic book. Remember there was a girl that was helping them? It's like a black chick that was living in Wayne Manor. She's the one that answered the phone, and she was like, something bad already happened about an hour ago. I can't remember her name, but
let me see the name of the character. Hold on a second.
Because at first I was like, was that supposed to be like Leslie? What was the doctor that always helped?
Yeah. Tompkins or something.
Yeah, Leslie Tompkins. And I was like, but why would she be living in the Wayne house?
Hold on one second. I'm trying to look it up. My computer's being weird as hell. To be honest, I barely remembered that until you said it.
I never remember Bruce having any other people.
And I didn't even give it a second thought. And she knows he's Batman.
Clearly.
Okay, who do we got? Oh, IMDb looks way different than the last time I used it on a computer. I'm going to say that much.
He's not even showing up on the cast.
I wonder if it was Janine Haruni as Carla?
Maybe.
Carla. I don't fucking know. But yeah, that's interesting. That makes me want to go back and watch it because I might have just tuned out during that part every time.
Yeah, it was an interesting element, and I don't know if I'm over. It would make sense that maybe early Batman would have more of a staff, but at the same time, if he's been Batman, I think he said 2 years. I guess it's him going
2
on
years. He said 2 years.
I'm like, she would have to notice that he's coming in at any night. So I don't know. It was just weird that they had another person there, and I'm like, and that's just the analytical part of me picking at the movie, really picking at nonsense straws. I have no complaints overall. I think the movie was dope, and I think the Riddler was super dope. Where do you compare Riddler? I know you said Bane is your favorite, and I can't argue that. Where do you compare? Because I think the biggest comparison is Riddler, Paul Dano's Riddler, Heath Ledger Joker. Who do you have overall?
I'm sorry. Can I take a leak, bro?
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
I'll come back with an answer. I gotta pee so bad.
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Okay. I got your answer. Despite the fact that Heath Ledger's Joker is so legendary on so many levels for so many different reasons, he won a fucking Oscar post-mortem or whatever they say, posthumously.
Yeah, with the
posthumously won a fucking Oscar.
Right.
And we like people actually really believe that this role killed him, whether it did or it didn't. You know what I mean? I don't think it did.
No, I don't think.
I don't think actors really go to that length.
No.
But we got to see so much more of him, and so therefore, I just have to say that performance was so much more legendary because he was in like the whole fucking movie.
Oh yeah,
he wasn't like hiding out and shit. Like he was in the whole movie from actually like the first scene with that heist scene and shit.
It opens with the heist scene.
Yeah, and like in this movie, you got to get the Riddler slower and stuff like that, and that's why I say like it's an ensemble piece.
Right.
Because like he was, the best possible fucking villain for that movie. He did, the greatest performance he could do with that script. Like Paul Dano was fucking genius, bro. And side note, I was very happy to see him again because I think the last movie I saw him in was Fantastic Four. And I actually thought he was a great Reed Richards in that. He was a great young Reed Richards. He reminded me of
wasn't that Teller, Miles Teller? I think Miles Teller was in that terrible Fantastic Four.
Am I just maybe I'm maybe they're not.
Yeah, they're not the same
making
dude.
These people be the same person.
No.
This guy. Oh yeah! Wow. Okay. Completely different person. What else has Paul Dano done?
He plays a lot. He was like a child actor.
Okay. Well,
he was in There Will Be Blood when he was like really young, Little Miss Sunshine.
Okay, well, don't put my fuck up in the show.
He was Wicked in 12 Years a Slave. He was like the slave master's son in 12 Years a Slave, and he was like awful being. So, but he plays creepy very well, very well.
Yeah, he slayed it. He was just a great fucking bad guy. He was a great new version of Riddler. But I'm gonna have to. If I have to choose, I'm gonna have to say Heath Ledger Joker.
I think also, and I agree with you, I think he was the best Riddler for this film. I think Heath Ledger's Joker would have been even too cartoonish for this world. So for this universe, because I agree with you, I thought the Dark Knight trilogy was as grounded. I was like, I don't need my Batman any more grounded than that. That's fine. That seems like Superman could fly in that Gotham compared. I could never see a Superman in this Gotham.
There is no other heroes that exist in this Gotham.
Right.
There's no other heroes that exist in the world.
Yeah.
In this universe. In my opinion.
No, I agree 100%.
I don't think we're ever going to hear them talking about, what's going on in
Metropolis.
Yeah, or like Keystone City or whatever the fuck it's called. Where the fuck is Flash from?
Coastal City? Is it Coastal City?
They got like stupid random names.
They were really lazy with their names. They're like Water City.
They got like Green Lantern City. Remember Green Lantern's like home base city in the 90s, and then fucking what's his name? The cyborg Superman just blew it up.
Yeah, he just destroyed it.
He just decimated Green Lantern's town, which is why Hal Jordan became Parallax and all that shit. I digress. What were we saying?
We were talking about how no other heroes could potentially.
Yeah.
Honestly,
this is the Batman world.
This Batman world, I'm not even sure until that very end if Batman was a hero, because it showed you when he saved that guy, the guy wasn't like, "Oh, thank you." He was like, "Don't hurt me either." When Batman, when the guy was like, "Who do you think you are?" I'm vengeance, and he just beat the living shit out of the guy. The guy was like, "Hey, don't hurt me." And you could see the evolution when he realized, okay, I have to be more. I have to give these people hope in that final act. And he read, and then when he's like literally saving people from the flood, they're actually reaching out to him like, "Thank you, Batman." So I think we can see the evolution where he becomes the world's greatest detective and also like the world's greatest superhero. But I don't know what Disney, Warner Brothers plans. If they're going to leave these separate, just like the Joker universe and this universe, and
it's crazy how many different cinematic Batman universes we have.
Right, we have like literally 3 right now
for the movies.
For the movies,
but then you got Titans World,
right?
In the TV.
Yeah,
I don't even know what all the tie-ins they fucking got in the other shows.
Well, there's a I don't know. There's a Batman on the Batwoman show. They've introduced Bruce Wayne there.
There you go. And then we're about to have Michael Keaton back in the Flash.
And Michael Keaton's back. And there's rumors that Batfleck is not gone, and that the Snyderverse the rumors is that the Flash movie ends with Barry realizing that he did not fix things and that he ended up somehow merging the universes. And that's how we get Michael Keaton as the main Batman. That's how you get rid of Henry Cavill, because Supergirl replaces him. Only at the end for the rumor is, and we'll see how true it is, it'll be a year from now, the post-credit scene ends with Barry like, okay, I'm stuck in this new universe. He turns on the TV and backflips like, Barry, you have to find us. You have to find us. Like, so that's the big rumor, you know.
That sounds cool.
At Warner Brothers merger, they had some plans. So overall, and before we wrap this up, the final act, I've read some comments online. Some people said the final act was kind of weird because it felt out the big action piece at the end with the flood and everything like that. What did you think about the final act of the Batman?
With all the explosions and stuff.
Yeah, the explosions and the flood. You know, you go from this kind of quiet, creepy, noir thriller with femme fatales and who's to trust, and then they kind of pull a Marvel with the standard action piece at the end with flood.
Oh, it's very similar to very similar to Dark Knight Rises.
Right.
Bane had bombs planted all over the city, and that's how he took over the city.
Yeah.
By isolating it. So it was reminiscent to me of that in a way, but again, less animated.
Right.
So just like like you said, Heath Ledger Joker is too animated for this universe. Right. The Joker that they gave is a guy sitting at a table, very casually talking.
Very casual.
He's so casual.
He's like.
But you're still like that's the Joker.
That's the Joker, 100%.
You're like if I could see inside his head, I would see Hannibal Lecter or some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I mean it was great. Although everything was fucking great for me, the whole package. I got no problems with any of it, man. And that's what was astounding to me is, and don't get me wrong, I am very hard to displease with superhero movies. I like superhero movies that nobody else likes. I love the first Suicide Squad movie. I fucking love it. I watch it again a million times. Like X-Men 3 is my favorite X-Men movie. Spider-Man 3 is my favorite of the original kit. Like the shit that people tend to not like. And I had a friend that one time was like, yo, you just like to like shit, don't you? And it's just like, no, but I understand, like, that this is just another approach. And a couple years down the road, we're going to get a different one. And maybe they can get it right where this person fucked up. And the fuck-ups sometimes are actually more entertaining to me. Like, X-Men 3, man, like, they fucking killed Cyclops, like, within the first, 10 minutes.
Yeah. And then they brought it back.
Never brought it back. And they killed Professor X and Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Like they killed the 3 most important characters of the X-Men.
Yeah. A lot of people think Wolverine, but I'm like, when it comes to X-Men, the 3 heads, like you said, are the Summers, Jean Grey, Professor X.
Wolverine wasn't even original team.
Wasn't even original. I don't even think he was necessarily a mutant when he got first introduced in Hulk. They didn't know what he was going to be. He got introduced in the side panel with some claws, and later writers, Chris Claremont and everybody, got in there and they, all right, this guy's going to be a mutant. But that was the thing about Fox. They were like, it's all about Wolverine. It's no matter what. I would love, and we're getting off topic. We probably should save it for the next episode. But I would love when MCU adapts to X-Men for it to be about the Summers family, that saga. There's
the original team, the original 6. The original 6. Iceman, Beast, Angel, Marvel Girl, Cyclops.
That's what I want to see.
Professor X.
Professor X.
That's it.
I don't want to see Wolverine. I don't want to see Rogue. I don't want to see any of them until
introduce them as teenagers too.
Introduce them as teenagers when the school opens. That's what I want.
If you're doing Spider-Man the way you're doing it, X-Men same way. They start as kids. It's a school.
Would be perfect. And you can, cast somebody that can be in the role for the next 10 years, relatively unknown. I don't want to see like a guy that makes $20 million a movie as Cyclops. Get me a really talented 20-year-old actor that can play 18 and put him in the school of gifted children.
And guess what? You can do that and then still bring Hugh Jackman back as Logan.
Absolutely.
It will work.
It would work.
It would work because we've never seen him as a kid, except for like, in the origin comics.
A stupid flashback where he had the bone claws for like 2 seconds and stabbed his dad. That's what I want to see. And you could even do a school for gifted children show on Disney Plus, all about the school and the early students and bring it in. There's tons of epic portion, but we'll save that for the next episode. So overall, about to wrap this bitch up for the wrong way Unnamed Comic Book Podcast.
Woo.
Overall, our final ratings, we need to come up with a rating system. We'll think of that next episode. But right now, we're going to still Sisker and Ebert. I think we can both, on the count of 3, give our ratings to the Batman. 1, 2, 3. 2 big thumbs up to fucking the Batman.
Loved it.
I can't wait to live in that universe. I can't wait for these shows. I can't wait for the Penguin show. I think that has a potential to be the Sopranos of DC Comics.
Again, you asked me about the Riddler, bro. Like, the Penguin was my dude.
The Penguin is my guy, and he's free. Even though he did try to kill Maroni right on the steps, but that's cool.
Maroni's a fucking rat, bro.
He was a rat, but he was like, I didn't shoot. I was like, you were about to. Just
That's right. I didn't.
Just because the Riddler got him first doesn't mean you haven't done a crime. But cool. He was literally like, I didn't shoot. I'm like,
he's like, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna kill you, you fucking rat. I didn't shoot. Come on, hey, over here, hey. I'm like, you're guilty. You're going to jail.
I just feel, this movie made me realize that, like, I think Penguin is actually my favorite villain from Batman to see them do live. Because every version we get is so drastically different. Like, the Burgess Meredith Penguin from this, he was my favorite in that original Batman movie. Like, and he was actually the boss of them. He was bossing them all around the whole time.
Yeah. He had the money. He had the smart. People forget. Like,
Joker tried to. They're in his submarine.
Yeah.
That is shaped like a penguin, and Joker like tries to tell him to do something, and he's like, "Aha, my friend! You see, on land you may rule, but at sea it is me." Aha. And I just fucking love it. And then you got Danny DeVito Penguin, which is just also fucking, he's biting off people's noses. And then
the Gotham show with the skinny penguin was pretty good.
Oh, see, I didn't even watch that show, but I watched, I think it was the first episode or something.
Yeah.
They show how he gets his limp and shit.
Yeah, he gets thrown off.
I was like,
breaks his leg. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's brilliant. I didn't watch any more of it, but I know what you're talking about.
He's dope. And even they did another version where it was a punk rock penguin who him and Bruce grew up together in the Batman Telltale series video game. I don't know if you've ever played that. It's one of those.
No. I know what you're talking about.
Super dope game though. I think they actually made 2 of them. And that interpretation where him and Batman were actually childhood friends, and his parents lost his money. The Wayne still had him, and he was like, "You kind of cast me aside when your parents died, but I'm back." And so, like you said, he's one of he can be done in so many different ways. And this version, the James Gandolfini crime boss version, I think if James Gandolfini if this movie was made when he was alive, I think he would have been the Penguin. But Colin Farrell, he redeemed himself for that Total Recall remake for this. He was fantastic.
Oh shit, I never saw that.
Yeah, he did a Total Recall remake. Don't hurt yourself. It's not. Yeah, it sucked.
Some shit shouldn't be remade.
Shouldn't be remade. No, absolutely.
Like how did they remake the scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger is dreaming about his death and his eyes are bulging out of his head and he's like, like you can't do that with Colin Farrell.
Do it because you needed
Colin
that.
Farrell can't go,
No, he just like I remember he had that sex tape out, and he was like, "I do this all day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner." So yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't strike me as the.
He had a sex tape?
Yeah,
Dude, I had no idea.
Yeah. Not that I looked at it, but yeah, he definitely had something leaking out.
Colin Farrell, man, dude, I really like his Bullseye.
He was a good Bullseye.
Everybody can hate on that Daredevil movie. His Bullseye. You made me miss. When he got so pissed when Daredevil made him miss. You made me miss. Dude, he was fucking great in that. Crazy. He was like that's why I was like, is his penguin gonna be ballistic?
He was kind of he played cool, but he definitely had that layer of rage under him. Like he was like, I got you. He's like, I got you.
And dude, like, did you ever see True Detective on HBO?
Did I've seen all 3 seasons. His season was very weird, especially after
it was the worst.
It was the worst. I was trying
if you have to pick the 3.
Yeah, no.
I was still entertained, and he was my favorite part of it. Like, there's that scene that will always stand out to me where, like, his son is being bullied, and that other kid, like, steals his son's shoes, and then he takes his kid to that kid's house and beats the shit out of that kid's dad in the front yard with brass knuckles. I was just like, what the fuck? And he's a cop.
He's a cop. That's why he can do it, because he's a cop.
He's like the hero of the show. And I'm like...
It was just, I think if the first season wasn't so epic of True Detective,
it would have been fine. It would have been fine. And that's what I kept saying to people. I was like, you're comparing it to season 1. They're comparing it to
different stories. They're totally different.
Like, not only that, but like, dude, that was a work of art, bro.
That was a masterpiece.
Like, that was exactly. Like, that was the best thing I've ever seen Matthew McConaughey done.
That started the Matthew Renaissance. That show is when he started really, he went from all right to like just, you're like, holy shit, this guy can act.
And that's so good.
Time is a flat circle. Fantastic.
And then they followed it up with the 3rd season, which was
with Blade.
I found very, very with Mahershala Ali. Is that his name?
Yeah, Blade. New Blade.
Oh, he's New Blade?
Yeah, he's the new Blade.
Where is he? When did he show up?
Well, they announced him like 3 years ago at like the comic thing, but the movie, the date hasn't come out. But he was at the end of the Eternals. When Dark Knight gets the black sword, you hear his voice at the end, and he goes, "Are you ready for that, Mr. Whitman?" And that was his first introduction in the MCU. So he's going to be the new Blade. That's why I was like, the Midnight Suns. You got Mahershala Ali as Blade. You got the Dark Knight, Kit Harington. You got Doctor Strange.
I say fuck. I think they should just bring back Wesley Snipes.
I mean, he hasn't aged. He looks pretty much the same. So he might be a vampire, actually, now that I think about it.
But yeah, I enjoyed the Mahershala Ali, like Alzheimer. That was really smart. He used that Alzheimer, and then he's like leaving Post-its to himself to try to solve this
very memento-like.
That was good shit, bro. Man, I'm sorry. I go off the beaten trail all the time on this show.
Hey, we both do. Nah, fuck that. I love the freestyle nature that people are gonna like.
There's so much good content, bro.
It's so much. So guys, I hope you guys like our little chat about the Batman. We both love that shit.
Batman.
It was dope. Tell us what you want to see on the show. We're gonna be talking about comics. We're gonna be talking about everything related. We're gonna be talking about everything. So as always, hit like, comment, subscribe. Raps, floor is yours. Let them know what you got going on. Give them your soul.
Bro, first of all, next time I gotta when we do Raps reads, I gotta tell you about the current Thor comics, because the shit is just bonkers, bro. And I just got caught up on Thor. Like, I was 8 issues behind because my job is crazy and everything. I was 8 issues behind on Thor, and I was just Like, I was getting caught up on everything else, but there's something special about this Thor series right now where I was just like, I want to be in the right zone to take it in and shit. And I'm glad I did it that way because I don't think I could have handled the cliffhangers from one issue to the next if I was reading it.
Kind of like streaming to Netflix where you want to watch it all at one time.
Yeah, bro. But it like this current story is so good, I got to get into it. So that's just something to look forward to, everybody.
Perfect,
dude.
So next episode, Raps Reads, get your Thor. Maybe we'll talk about the Thor Love and Thunder show going on with that, and we'll have a Thor episode. I love it,
bro. And then also Johnny Raps is just popping off. I've never really felt better about my career as a rapper right now. So if you guys do like, quintessential hip hop, I would say, tune in to Johnny Raps. You like old school Eminem with a little bit of humor, some demented shit. Like, you tune into Johnny Raps. I got a lot coming out. I just unexpectedly finished my first group project, which kind of came out of nowhere. But I invited my friend Aflo is a legendary street rapper from Philly. He's a published poet. He was one of my actor friends. But to my knowledge, he's never put out any music like officially. And so I've just been like wanting him to come to the studio for forever, dude. Like I idolize this guy as an MC. And so he came, and in two sessions, like the first session, it was like a reuniting. I ain't even seen him since I left Philly. So it's like I ain't seen this guy in 4 years. We recorded 2 bangers, like 2 really solid tracks. And then I invited him back, and this a week ago from today, and we recorded 4 tracks in like 5 hours, bro. And like they were all keepers. I don't know if you've listened to it yet. I
have listened to it, and you've given me the link.
Do you agree?
I agree 100%.
It is hardcore.
The shit is bangers. The shit is like MOP meets, like you said, early Eminem, but and then
and it's not solo Johnny Raps. Like the essence of Johnny Raps is still there, but this is like what I've always been wanting to do. This is, it's probably not going to sell because it's the shit that I like. But
it doesn't matter though. The shit.
Yeah, I'm mad proud. So Faded is out right now. Faded is out. That's my current single, or most recent single. Pussy also dropped back in February. I would love you to check both of those out. They're both part of my upcoming first solo project, Part-Time Rapper. But also, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen next month. If not, definitely in June, we're going to be dropping Education, which is Aflo meets Cortex, my producer, meets John E. Raps. So, I don't know. I went long, but look, you'll look me up at John E. Raps. It's John E. Raps. And the
Check that shit out. My man
for energy.
Fire. He is super fire. Brings the energy. Faded, dope. I'm 420 all day, all year long. So check that out. Shit's epic. Check out Chinko if you see the hat. Check out the movie Shithead.
Oh.
Check that shit out on Tubi and Amazon. And for me, always check out Down in the Den, available everywhere where you listen to podcasts and on your YouTube. That's super dope. It's my heart, so please check that out. If you want to meet with me on social media, you want to become a den mate, you have artists you want to recommend, we have a great community. That den mate community is legit. My man Raps can attest to that.
Great network.
So hit me up at Mars_entertainment, or for business opportunities, DITD_studios. We're producing shows right now. We have a ton of shows, content coming out. Check out Pot with Petty for all my smokers. Show I executive produce for my boy King Petty. For all those smokers, listen to Faded, roll you one, and then look at Pot with Petty. That's what I need y'all to do. So Stream my boy Johnny Raps. Like, comment, subscribe. Unnamed Comic Book Podcast. Batman. That's our review. I even got my gloves. I feel like Batman now.
We are vengeance.
We're all vengeance. So,
yo, can I throw in some? Maybe you can add this earlier.
Yeah.
But, I also wanted to point out, I really appreciate the no Batman voice.
Yes, he just was.
The no Batman voice.
He almost was at a whisper.
Yeah.
He was almost at a whisper. You know, it really, yeah, no. When you look, Batman, Affleck, he kind of had a voice modifier, if you know.
Which I actually thought was brilliant too.
Makes sense.
Because if you in the comics, even like when Dick Grayson becomes Batman, there's a conversation that he has with somebody where he's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get the voice right."
Yeah,
and so like I thought it was cool that Batfleck had a thing that actually altered his voice,
which
create the Batman voice.
Yeah, it would make sense instead of actively pulling the. And even Christian Bale said, you know, he wished he would have pulled back, because if you look at Batman Begins, and then you get by the time he gets to Dark Knight, he goes from "I'm Batman" to "Where," like I can't even do it without like rupturing the vocal cord. Yeah.
So I just love all the different versions, and that's just one other thing that I appreciated about it is they didn't make the Batman voice a thing, because they didn't need to.
No,
they just didn't need to.
As he is, he was just beating.
He was such a minimal Batman.
Yeah,
his eyes. And also I appreciate his movement techniques in this role. Reminds me of Tom Hardy, the way he moves so deliberately.
Yeah,
because every step seems so choreographed. Every slight movement, but it's minimal at the same time.
Yeah, and then sometimes he vanish. There's a scene when he's rolling off when him and Catwoman are pulling their Fast and the Furious 7 and separating on the road, and the acting he does with his eyes, when you can see him contemplating, like, should I go with this chick? She's pretty bad. No. Gotham is my woman, and his eyes are darting. Chef's kiss. So all you guys did a fantastic job. We can't wait to. I don't want to live in Gotham, but I damn sure will watch it.
I want to live in Gotham. I think life would be livelier. I would become probably part of the Bat fam somehow. I would find a way, even though I'm not like a martial artist or anything, or like an acrobat. I still feel like I would try to find a way in.
Yeah, you could probably just you'd be like, "Hey, Batman, you need some entertainment," and then you just like, "You need a
Batman, I'll spit for you at the cave.
Maybe I'll spit for you. You in the Bat Cave, the concert at the Bat Cave. You know, I'm DJing in the back." It's like, Dick, did you throw a rave in this? Is Johnny Raps in the back? And why has Alfred got a blunt?
And why are all these bitches passed out in the Bat Cave?
Dick! I want Dick. You know what? I didn't mean to say it. As I was saying it, I was like, oh God, somebody's going to screen capture that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to your number one podcast for comic books, the Unnamed. I like that. The Unnamed Podcast, comic book podcast. Check it out. Batman. Check this shit out. As always, deuces. Peace.